4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
What's going on, guys? I fixed it in your face. Daniel, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for the information I provide. It's free. You can help me by doing those things. Before we get started here, we're going to give our channel sponsor a shout out, which is Josh is the CEO. He is a whatnot seller. Very, very cool. His team of people are very awesome. Basically, he sells shoes for a fraction of what retail MSRP would be. They are basically, I would consider kind of resellers. And they do a very good job. I have picked up a lot of merchandise from these guys. They keep my feet looking very, very fresh for a fraction of the price of MSRP. So if you guys are looking for a nice set of kicks to rock, I suggest checking out Josh and his crew. If you click on his link, it is a referral link. You will automatically get $10 towards your first purchase across the entire Whatnot app, regardless of whether you spend it with Josh or anybody else. You'll immediately get that $10. To get kicked off. But I promise you, if you guys check out Josh and bookmark all of his shows that he has, I think you'll be quite impressed. He does giveaways all the time. Super, super friendly, charismatic individual. His whole team are very, very friendly. I've bought a number of shoes from them now. He keeps my feet looking very fresh. Without further ado, let's get to the content. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So this is one I've been wanting to do for a while, and I can't remember what exactly put me on the road to determining whether Chromebooks are actually good for gaming, but I think it was a conversation I had with a friend, and we basically were talking about how Chromebooks are just not as powerful as laptops or even regular gaming computers, so they're kind of pointless. They're just giant tablets in a sense. Simplified tablets that don't have any real processing power. And I started thinking to myself, how he was laying it out to me was like, basically, these are mediocre devices in comparison to a real laptop. And they're just for very, very basic web browsing, things like that, playing simplistic little games on the Play Store, nothing really heavy. And that got me thinking, like, well, what would it take to actually make a Chromebook as good as a laptop? So what I've done here is I bought a unit from 5 years ago. I bought a Chromebook, a very budget Chromebook, and I've made 0 alterations to this unit. This is a Lenovo 100E. However, it does have an AMD A4 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and it has a 32 gigabyte SD card, eMCC SD card, or a hard drive inside of it. This I have modified. This is my personal mini laptop. This is an HP 14. I want to say it's a DFQ. I think this is a DFQ. Oh, FQ0013. And both of these were designed for school settings, basically. This actually came with a locked out version of Windows, a very basic version of Windows. I completely wiped the hard drive and I put Windows Tiny 11 on here. It also only came with 4 gigs of RAM. I upgraded that to 16 gigs of RAM, and it came with I want to say it wasn't that big. It was like a 60, I don't even think it was a 60 gigabyte hard drive. I think it was like a 30 gig hard drive inside of this, and I went ahead and upgraded that to a 512 gigabyte hard drive. Now, the cool thing about this is that this one was not exactly designed to be a gaming laptop, but for all intents and purposes, I have turned it into like a micro gaming laptop. It has an Athlon, an AMD Athlon Silver processor in it, and it has Radeon graphics, just like this one. This one has Radeon graphics 400 in it, AMD Radeon graphics 400. This also has Radeon graphics, and they both are running AMD processors. So even though this was a very, very budget device, and by the way, you can pick these Lenovo 100s up, these 100Es, these little micro ones. They're awesomely built. The screens are not my favorite, and I have the brightness turned down on both of these. But, you know, it doesn't have that anti-glare stuff on there, so you can definitely see a little bit of reflection on here. But this has a crazy battery life in comparison. But the real question at hand Can you game with this? Both of these seem to have some fairly good internals. This was a 2020 release Chromebook, and this is running Windows 10 11 with a ton of different upgrades. And I know for a fact that this can run Steam Network and play games all the way up to about 2024 if you turn the graphics down. And as you get older into the games, then you can start increasing the graphic capabilities. But remember, this was just a home-built micro gaming laptop that I made, okay? Whereas this one is out of the box state. What can this really do? Now, I will say this, newer Chromebooks have a lot more memory. They have much better processors than this one, and they have a lot bigger hard drive space. On top of that, Chrome OS is now running beta Steam. So if you guys wanted to actually try and see if your newer Chromebooks were capable of running Steam for some of the simpler games, you could do that now. This one is older, so it won't actually be able to run Steam. Question is, because I know this will play a God of War, all the new stuff. This is a very reasonable little laptop that I've built here. But the real question is, can this do any real gaming outside of basic stuff from the Android Play Store? And my answer to you is yes, but you have to think outside the box. How would we make this device designed for very, very simple processing without modifying it in any kind of way? How do we make this actually play reasonable console system games? There is an answer, and I'm going to give that to you today. For any of you that have ever played with Android phones or tablets of any kind, you know that emulation gaming is very popular. Well, there's no difference with this. Because this has the Android Play Store in it, it allows you to download emulation stuff. And you can play all the way up to PS2 and some PS3 titles on this very old Chromebook with very basic internals on the current memory and hard drive that it has in it with the current specs. Don't believe me? I'll show you. And just so that you're positive that this is 100% a Chromebook, I'm going to roll it on its face and show you that that is a 100E by Lenovo with the Chrome insignia on the front of it. So let's open this 100E up. I'm going to be hooking it to a Bluetooth controller, and we're going to put a PlayStation Portable emulator on here, which, by the way, if you know where to get the games, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it, you have an entire library of games available to you. Everything from Dragon Ball Z to Grand Theft Auto, Vice City Stories, Chinatown, Midnight Club 3, Dub Edition, Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid, God of War, Dante's Inferno. There are so many games that you can actually play on an older Chromebook. It'll blow your mind. So let's look a little deeper into this cheap. This was $79 on its release. You can pick these up on eBay for like 25 bucks now. Or you can go on Whatnot and check out I Buy and Sell Electronics. I'll put a little screenshot of the sellers for this, and I'll attach their affiliate link to this so that you can click on that. And if you join Whatnot, you will actually, I'll give you my affiliate link. If you join, you will actually make $10 or 15 bucks right out the hole to spend on whatever you want. So shipping on something like this from a Whatnot seller would normally be 10 bucks, but I watch these tablets and these Chromebooks sell on there for $6 to $8 all day. So for 18 bucks, you can get a Chromebook just like this, have it shipped directly to your house, unpack it, and get ready to get set up. So let me move the camera and I'll show you this. I'll put my referral link down below so you guys can click on that to access the Whatnot app. Get yourself that 15 bucks instantly right out the hole using my referral code, and then look up I Buy, Fix, and Sell Electronics. I'll put their thing right up here so you guys can see it right there. You can find them really easily. They're very cool. It's a husband and wife duo. They're very cool. So let's look at this thing a little bit closer. I don't want to talk your ear off, but I did want to give some specs and ratios because, like I said, these actually aren't as bad as people make them out to be. You just have to know what you're doing. Let's take a more in-depth look here. All right, so as you guys can see, I've actually turned the brightness down a little bit. I suppose I could turn it up a bit more. Maybe it might make it a bit easier for you guys to see. It'll probably make it easier for me to see too. Maybe a bit more. That's probably good. Should we turn it up more? Let's go a little bit more. Let me show you how vibrant it is. There we go. All right, so the actual flickering that you see is not on my on the actual screen. That is the digital. It's the type of screen that they use to make this device. As I said, this was a budget-friendly device, so it's running 60 hertz basically. Nothing more, 60 hertz. So you see the frame rate refresh here. So I'm going to be connecting this to a Bluetooth controller, which I already have paired up. I am going to turn this on. The first thing I'm going to do, as you can see, it said Game Plus Pad connected. So I've already got that set up on here. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how to get the PSP emulator. You're going to open up the Play Store, give it a sec. As you can see, it's a fairly snappy little device. It's not shabby for being as old as it is. And all you're going to do is go up here to the search bar and type PPSSPP, enter. And you will see right here that the PSP emulator is right there. Click on it and install it, and then you just have to get your game files. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself. But this is definitely running Chrome OS. If you couldn't tell, this is 100% Chrome OS. It did take all the updates. And so once you install it and you get your game set up and you order your little $9 Bluetooth controller from eBay, Amazon, wherever you want to get it, just make sure it works for Android because this is going to be running basically a Linux-based system. We're going to go over here and we're going to activate PSP. Now the cool thing about this PSP emulator is all you have to do is adjust the graphics if they're not working great for you. It's really, really simple. So let's just kick off a game here. Let's get, what should we try to play? Let's get God of War going on here. Which one is this? Yeah, we'll do Ghost of Sparta. How about that? So this is from 2010. And if I have to adjust the graphics, I will, which as a matter of fact, let's come right up to here right now. Come up to the corner, there'll be a little arrow that will present itself up here. If I can get it, there it is. That'll bring up the menu. We can go to settings and make sure that we have this. Oh, no, it's on 2x PSP. Okay, so because this is on 2x, it's going to downscale the resolution so that the processor can handle it. For some games, you can crank it all the way up to 1080p. The highest I've gotten it to be able to go was 6SP, but nothing 4K. So it can't handle any of these games in actual 4K. Some games run perfectly flawless with very low frame rate drop on 1080p. Most of the games, though, that are high-intensity graphics, I run around 2x PSP. And if I really have to, because it's super intense graphics, I'll run them at 1x. But most of the games can handle at least 2x or 1080p. So, and that would be 4x PSP. So now that we know that we're on 2, we'll go ahead and go back down to the bottom here. We'll hit continue and we'll unmute it. We'll turn up the volume. And as you can see, this is a Chromebook playing console game systems in all of their glory. And as a matter of fact, I think I actually have a save slot that I can just start off from. Yes, I do. So we'll go to load state. There we go. This is cool. And now I can just start off from where I left off because I saved the stop. That would be a save state right there. Let's see, what do we got to do? As you can see, it is playing these 3D, high-intense, reasonably graphic games, no issues in all their glory. So, now where do I go? I feel like I go up here, and I probably have to, can I climb up? Nope, I got to climb around the wall. Jump down here. What did it say? There we go. All right, let's let these dudes have it real quick. I want to grab this dude. That way I can sling him. There we go. Come on. I forgot what grab is. Oh well. So I don't understand what people are saying when they say that it can't play these types of games, because clearly it 100% can. You just have to revert to emulation gaming, which to me is better. Because why? Why is it better? Because this allows you to have access to all the console systems that you're used to. That's why. That's why, in my opinion, this is better. So let's go up here. I'm going to save this state here. We'll go to save state. There we go. And then we'll come back up here again. Let's play something else. We'll go back to games. I have a ton of them on here. I actually have a whole SD card full of games. I haven't even tried, well, The Force Awakens has a very, very long intro. I don't want to do that. Let's kick off here. Grand Theft Auto. How about that? I could probably actually turn the graphics up on this. So we'll do Vice City Stories. So we're basically playing PS2 games on this up to PS3, because Dante's Inferno is PS3, and a lot of these game titles are from 2010 or better. So look, it's running these games without a problem. So are you just stuck with things like Tetris and simple stuff? The answer to that is no. You've got all these games that are available to you that you can readily and easily play without issue on these Chrome tabs with no problem, if you know how to set up emulators. If you're capable of doing this kind of stuff and you have an understanding, then yes, these are great. They are great little gaming rigs. That means you can put Nintendo 64 on here. You can do anything you want to, basically, up to like PS2. And like I said, PSP actually had some PS3 available titles. So, yeah, we're going to skip all that.
Listen, if plans change, I'll let you know. What's this? It's a pager.
Yeah, nobody cares. Let's go. Gotta run. All right, the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that these are more than capable of playing reasonable games and known game titles. You're not just stuck to what the Android Play Store has. That's basically all I wanted to cover with this, okay? So you have a good idea that these little Chrome devices are more than capable of playing this kind of stuff. And guys, I'm not joking. This is just a standard 5-year-old device with no modifications done to it whatsoever, and a cheap, $7 to $9 Bluetooth controller hooked up to it with an emulation PlayStation Portable attached to this, which you can get a hold of any of the game titles that you want for PSP. I'm just going to say for free, but I'm not telling you how to do any of that. I own all of these games because I've had multiple PSPs and I still have all of my game discs. So I'm putting on there what I can legally do because I have ownership of the games. I'm not telling anybody what they can and can't do. Please do it within the confines of the law, obviously. But that being said, guys, yes, they're more than capable of gaming. Okay, there's nothing about these that cannot game. Now, like I said, could I run the Steam OS network? The answer to that is no, not on an older one like this, but your newer ones have Steam Chrome OS, right? They are beta. They can run Steam. Now, are they going to run them at the efficiency of what, this micro gaming laptop that I built can do? The answer to that is no, it's not. And as you can see, I use my laser engraver on these. I can put really neat designs using my laser engraver, etching. But is it as capable as something like this mini gaming laptop? The answer is no. But can you still play reasonable game titles on here with efficiency without issue? Yes. They're not as limiting as people make them out to be. I hope that helps you guys understand. And don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I try to bring content like this to you guys all the time so that you have a good understanding of what's actually out there tech-wise and what things are really capable of. Because these Chromebooks aren't that bad. They're actually pretty good if you know how to set them up. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Toodles!